Hi, good morning. I actually had to do 2 reflections today because yesterday I just didn't do it. I took a day off, I guess. Oh, it was my birthday, so maybe that's why I felt like I don't have to do anything. I realized also I'm getting to the halfway point of these, and I'm like, I already have been reading and reviewing these a half a year. That's wild. Almost. We're at lesson 177 today. It's a reflection. Again, it's God is but love, and therefore so am I. And then it's a review of 2 prior lessons, 163, 164. 163 says, there is no death. The Son of God is free. And 164 says, now are we one with him who is our source. So there is no death. The Son of God is free. I think of how freedom is you're not chained, you're unbound. And that is that this concept of no death means we would live on eternally. Our spirit does. I think there's a lot more to the lesson, but I didn't go back and read the whole thing. This just gives a little snippet. So there is no death, so therefore we, being the Son of God, are free. Like this, we're not bound by anything. Now, our physical body will experience a physical death, but this is saying there is no death. I think of spirit probably is what that's referring to, and so therefore we're free. And we don't have to fear death because it's like we live on. We being whoever we take ourselves to be. I feel like you hear a lot in spirituality circles like, okay, we're not a human physical body that has a soul somewhere in here. We are souls that we're temporarily experiencing a human body. So when our temporary body physically dies, that core essence of who we really are, true nature, lives on. And who knows, maybe it'll come around again. Who knows? It doesn't really matter, right? Because all we know is like what we're experiencing right now. And then as a soul, who knows what we know? I don't know what we know. Some people come here and have that remembering, but most of us come here and forget our true nature. It's by design, I like to think, so that we can fully immerse in the human experience. And so after this physical death, I mean, we're free, and we can experience that freedom, I think, by just acknowledging that, like by not having a fear of death. And who cares? Like, also I want to think about, like, what if there's nothing after this? Is that scary? Does it make this life seem like, what's the point? I don't think so. I think the point of life is to live it, to go through it. What else is there? Right? Like, and what's so wrong with that? What's so wrong with just doing the most you can with this life, doing, not even just to get the most out of it, but just like to experience all there is to experience in this human form. Like, yeah, I don't know, it's just liberating. And then maybe that's related to the lesson, just to experience. And I think a lot of freedom comes with like getting out of our mind's idea of anything. It's all this mind stuff that just keeps us so like, arr. So now we are one with him who is our source. So I think that's talking about how, like, where we came from is that God creation energy. And that is who we are. We got created somehow. I was thinking about how, like, these bugs, there's a lot of bugs in the Midwest. Oh, I'm gonna get some iced tea. And oh yeah, I remember why. Because there was this fly. Where was it? I think it was in my car, and I couldn't get it out, no matter how long I left the windows down. And I was like, Fly, you were only alive like for a couple days, maybe. Do you really want to spend it in this vehicle? I was having a whole conversation with it because I tried everything to get the fly out. And so I was just like kind of meditating on that, I guess, deep reflection on like, whoa, they're only alive for a couple days. A lot of bugs are only alive for a very, 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 very short period of time. And their whole like goal is to procreate, to carry on the species. And they are totally fine with that. To just like have that purpose. Or if you're a bee, you're like tending to the hive because that keeps the bees alive to perpetuate their existence. Or the ants, they got to do ant things. Like I was reflecting on that the other day, or with Matt and I were sitting on our porch, and there were these ants, and he's like, "What are those white things they're carrying? Are they carrying their eggs?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think so." And so they all just know what needs to be done. Like they're carrying their like the precious life that they created, and they have to like tend to it to make sure it perpetuates the species. And that's what we humans do too. And so we just want to like we create all kinds of other reasons for being here, like from our minds. And which is great that we have that ability to like, okay, we can procreate and also do these other things that are interesting to us, that like entertain us or make us feel alive, So where am I going with this? I don't know. I just think about bugs. Oh, so there's this. Now we are one with Him who is our source. So I think about all the ways in which we can feel one with everything around us. And I think that's one basic way, is to be like, it's okay to just exist and like just live a human life of like procreation, even though I haven't procreated and I won't. I can experience like the oneness of humanity's desire to do that in order to perpetuate the species. And I can care for others to help them live a life that will, and then they'll go on to procreate. So we're all here in some capacity to be in connection with each other, because at our core, I think I was talking about this the other day, like in our tribal nature, if you're left alone, you probably won't survive. So even at a basic level, like human connection is a way to procreate, like to support that survival instinct and ability. So I don't know if that's what these lessons were really designed to like implant, but that's okay. I just had a lot of thoughts about that. And like sometimes we get so like life and people and negative, about, I don't know, just living. Like that's part of our experience too, and that's okay too. It's okay to have that. And sometimes it goes through really long phases of it, and then we're like, oh man, is this just who I am? I talk to a lot of people about like been in a rut, and what's that even mean? It's like some idea that we have of how we're supposed to be, and how we feel now is not that. Like we feel separate from. So I think about separation a lot as an illusion, and yet and a source of like really big suffering that we have as humans, to feel separate from ideas of how we should be, and from separate from other people. So separation is a big source of suffering, because I think at our core, like our human nature is to be in connection. And it's, well, what's wrong with that? To want that. And if we don't feel it, then we feel like physically like, ooh, something's not right. I think it's like biology and evolution, like evolutionarily, our biology craves connection. We want to feel it. And when we don't feel connected to ourselves or to others, it feels wrong in our bodies. And it's a clue like, ooh, something's not right. And so I think that's just one piece of feeling the oneness, if I have to tie it back to the lesson. Like the oneness, who is our source. And we feel one when we're in connection. So that's what I got for this one. What lesson was this? 177. Yeah.